Morning, fine people. So we have Matthew first out the block saying good morning. How are you, Matthew? Rosenfield. Yes, how are you, fine fella? Ivos Ungers, morning. The Dent Clinic, Paintless Dent Repair. Good morning, cool shirt. Yay. Yes. T-shirt, indeed. Morning, Francis. Deckard Kane wants me as his father. Bring your mother over to me and I can see if I can arrange something for you. No, I'm kidding. I'm just being naughty. Yes, thank you. Very flattering, but I am a naughty boy. You know, I'm reminded of that scene in the Monty Python skit when they have the life of Brian. He's not Jesus. He's a very naughty boy. That's the mother sticking her head out. That was Mary, supposedly, in that skit. I am more of the Monty Python skit than I am a hero of any sort. Water and lemon in the morning to alkalize your stomach. Do it. It's good for you. Anyway, so I've got a slightly different tone for you today, chaps. In fact, I'm a big enemy of positivity. I think people always go, oh, positivity, we must always just be positive. Oh, be positive, be positive. If something's ugly and it smells, call it ugly and smelly. Don't say she doesn't sweat much for a fat girl. You know, unfortunately, sometimes you have to see, and for my lady viewers, just he doesn't sweat much for a fat bloke. If something isn't right, if it doesn't look right, acknowledge it. Do not subscribe to fantasies. However, in a slightly different tone, and to also prove that I'm not just some form of doomsday porn merchant, we are actually going to highlight, many of you might be suffering a little bit of panic, a little bit of uncertainty, a sense of dis-ease about where we're at. You're starting to feel that maybe there's something to what this manic street preacher over the last 13 years since 08 has been banging on about, that maybe there's a couple of things he might have been accurate on, and now you're feeling a sense of dis-ease. So I'm here to give you a couple of things, not just a couple. In fact, I've done 11 points in total. I've sat down, scratched my head, written a few notes, which are just before me here out of line of sight, and to mention to you the great opportunities and benefits of the lockdown season right now, the lockdown period, and the general reset season that we are in. So this is what I'm trying to do. And actually, there are quite a few benefits. There are quite a few benefits indeed to this period of lockdown and to the season as a whole, the reset season. So that which we called would come, like a manic street preacher, as I say. That's how I've been. We walked a desert. So I had a couple of people that used to refer to me as conspiracy nuts. I did a program and, various things. And one of them today, the main leader that used to say, oh, it's all a conspiracy, I suppose, every time I said anything, came and posted and it said, it seems like March 2020 is when all your predictions came home. And it was a kind of validation because he was almost, in a sense, a mocker of all that we have said. And I said to him, you know, we walked 13 years of desert, like John the Baptist, preaching an event like Noah. And finally, Noah had his day when the rain came. And I'm here to tell you now, instead of preaching what was ostensibly sounded a negative message, but was actually a debunk the fantasy method. If you follow this YouTube, and I seriously suggest that some of you should go and look at and search the Market Sniper DeMartini and have a look at a number of series of vids that we did with John DeMartini. And he says, as humans, we are prone to fantasies. We're prone to fantasies where we see things that we want to have seen. We see rather what we choose and wish to believe rather than what is. And that is the difference between technical analysis. You look at the actual movement of the chart, not the news flow. And it is the difference between desiring and creating a fantasy in your mind, a supermodel girlfriend and then expecting her not to take an hour and a half in the bathroom. Because the very things that made her a supermodel means she takes an hour and a half in the bathroom, and that she demands a very expensive wardrobe. And you say, well, I'd just like to have the sexually experienced virgin supermodel girlfriend that works on a very low budget and is super quick in the bathroom so that we're never late for going out to dinner or anything else. This is the notion of fantasy. You accept one part. You accept the shiny side of the moon. You also accept the entire planet, which would mean that dark side of the moon, whatever might be there. You accept the night, and you must accept the day, which comes with a night. And this is the notion. So, whilst many people are dark right now, uncertain and panicked, I'm here to tell you that there's certain good things about what's happening. Generally. So point number one, let's start straight away. Let's just check. Someone wants to sell his BMW M3. I had a gorgeous purple, more individual color M3 once, which I loved, with a Sahara sand interior. It was the E46 when they first came out. It was some while ago now. Someone wants to sell his M3 for 3M stocks. Okay, let's start without any further ado. So no super prominent comments, so I will check in with those every now and then. Point number one, the broken system that we have been existing in, limping in. In fact, I've been awaiting this day urgently, because every day you limp on like a half-dead zombie is wasted years of my life where we can't get on with it in a clean, clear new cycle. In other words, this cycle of this broken environment that we're in, which is properly broken, the fact that it is finally coming to an end means at some point the runway will be cleared and you will have a fresh stretch of tarmac in front of you beyond the eye could see. The amount of decisions I've put on hold, and we'll touch on that, on account of there is a reset coming, and everything I do, because if I preach it, I have to do it myself, I will hold out for reset before I do X, Y, and Z. Why? Because we're accumulating cash, we're accumulating gold, we're accumulating everything. In other words, this economic constructed event has put many people who've seen it for what it is, lives on hold in some way. The breaking down of that system and the eventual destruction of that system will trigger people to put proper roots down. I've had a fairly nomadic existence. I've had very specific goals that all cash generated should be directed towards. I've had all certain things, and that phase has grown longer and longer in the tooth as we have waited and waited for the rains of reset to arrive, for Noah to wheel his ark out, with all the animals that have been collecting in the nearby glade, so that he can get into the next stage. Point number one is we are reaching the end of the great awaiting. We're no longer sitting in a waiting room for eternity with spider webs from the tip of our nose to our elbows as we sit there yawning and say, when will it end? It is a good thing that a dead system comes to an end. It is a good thing. I will add as caveats, be careful of who's behind that system that was created first, because they will probably still be behind that future system that will come, and it may well bring things that they clearly wish to bring in, which will have plenty of shepherding aspects to it. But let's just pause there before we dig into the dark side again and say, isn't it great that that agenda period of long-suffering, limping economic frailty that came from 2008, that never was a true recovery, that was always a great depression with a D, not a great recession, the deceptions of all that it has been exposed, and now we sit awaiting a new vehicle. This car is murtu, as they say in Afrikaans. It is broken, and we need a new vehicle. And cometh the hour, cometh the new vehicle. Okay. So that's point number one. Point number two, pain equals opportunity. Now is not the time to hunker down like a scared armadillo with your head tucked in and holding it armor side up and waiting for a mortal strike blow. In actual fact, crisis, the word crisis in Chinese is dual meaning and has both opportunity and reset stroke crisis engaged in it. And I think it's a far better phrase than we have. Crisis is opportunity, my friends. It's opportunity for those that recognize it. It's opportunity for those that recognize the fact, and it is pure mayhem, pain, and nasty stuff happens to us for those that hunker down and hide, because there will be no hiding. You will just face the buffeting of the winds and the rain of the great storm, or you will be one of the people that are making out like a bandit during this period. There are great opportunities, and now actually is the best time to be taking outlier risks and coming with the financial reset. So I want to remind you where we are. We're in a lockdown period that is largely around the pandemic narrative health issue. This is going to twist and turn into more of a financial economic event. Some of those have already started confessing to that fact in the mainstream control structure media, like The Economist and many others. I've always had no doubts about that fact. But, you know, that point aside, the deflationary effects of the economic downturn, the deflationary benefits of the fear. And we will have, beautiful people, if I were to plot you where we were 2007 and 8, because people like to associate with their brains, it's not going to be the same. It's not going to be identical. It will have certain aspects that rhyme. It will have certain aspects that rhyme, but it will be different. However, there will be a commencement of something that has clearly caused a shift, and then there will be a third leg. So first you have the crash down that brought our HYG trade beautifully down. Now we have a rally. All is well in the kingdom once more. And await the third leg, which will be even more brutal. And this is what I'll call the Lehman's moment. This is very clearly going to move this into a financial economic event for which the pandemic is merely the trigger. So we have in our trading strategy primers and triggers that generate much larger macro events. And we discussed that. And this has just been your triggering event. In fact, you are sitting waiting for the real anvil to fall, a financial anvil, and it is coming. And it will either be a major hedge fund failure, like long-term capital once was. It could be bank failure. It's going to be a nation-state failure on debt that's going to cause a periphery emerging FX markets crisis, sudden ramp. It's going to be, who knows? It could be military. It could be anything, but it's going to morph into the economic event, and it's going to be very hard to hide it. During that great pain, those that have prepared well, and even those that haven't, that hoard and collect their cash and have gunpowder ready. If you run a small business, you may well be able to buy out all your local rivals with cash if you are so prepared. If you have kept it lean during this period and kept it cash flow positive and built cash resources, you may be able to, let's say you run a earth haulage, earth moving equipment, and you have Caterpillars and Komatsu and Hyundai earth moving equipment. You may find that you'll be able to buy for pennies in the pound entire fleets, so that you'll be able to do great works, and your company's stock and capacity has grown immensely in a period where others are being leaned out, and that subsequently when they launch all their reconstruction and development and economic activity supporting, you will be the only earth movage person in town. When they need to build a new highway, a new railway, it is your kit that they will hire. When they need to put up new electrification, new 5G mobile masts, etc., you will be digging their holes for them. It's not only obviously in that business, there will be many other businesses. So now is not the time for hunkering down, hoarding cash, and making big risks near lows could serve you very, very well. Business assets will be bought cheap. If you are not in business, you're not a small, medium-sized operator, you may just have a job. Well, I hope you've been building your cash, keep building your cash. Other things that are income producing for your hobby business that you are setting up at home could be acquired cheaply, even on a much smaller scale. So the pain is the opportunity. The deflationary second leg pain, because trust me, no one is feeling sufficient financial pain. You might be sitting at home and saying, I'm feeling pain. Geez, I haven't been paid for 3 weeks. I am a waiter. I am a restaurateur manager. I'm in the hotel business. They've sent me home and on half wages. Yes, no, I'm talking about pain, pain, pain. As in every last cent that you have saved has been shelled out and they have wrung you out and you've had no income come in, and now you're not even sure how you're going to eat, and you've moved back in with your parents, and now bank failures are happening around you. Now, if you're in that situation, I'm afraid you don't have any ammo to take in use of any of the opportunities, but the people that do will. So now's the time to actually maintain, when lockdown ends, maintain your relationship for your banking. So can I say a few important words on that point? In fact, I'll wait until I refer to property specifically, because one of the points is specifically towards property, both as a personal home and as a rental stock for income producing. So let's just talk generally in business concept. Real assets will be bought real cheap in the deflationary lows. There will be real problems. Number 3, let's move on. Something in terms of the overall understanding of the great game that has been going down. The real actors have shown themselves. Think of all those that suddenly got COVID-19 and want you to know they've been affected just like you too. Prince Charles, Boris Johnson, bouncing back in 2 days after very minimal isolation. Isn't that incredible? Go search the articles. He's back at work. Also, the vaccination companies that Bill Gates have headed and funded, suddenly they've broken cover. It's kind of you're a sniper and you have a sense the enemy's out there and there's some bushes and is it a sheep, is it a dog, is it an animal, or is it just a shadow in the murky light? And now they've broken cover and they've run for the border of your farm. You know who the enemy is. There's been a revelation. They can't bring their whole game down without seeing how the World Health Organization has responded, and asking who is behind it. There is an awakening. Some of your fellow friends that think you're a loon will now be asking questions within themselves. There is a degree of awakening. The actors behind the curtain have been revealed to the smart. Some that are moderate smart might be asking questions they've never asked before. And the big question is, whom does all these events truly serve? Who benefits out of these events? Ask them that question when they still think you're tinged with a touch of lunacy. Say, who has benefited by all these events? As we sit with our mobiles on lockdown in our clear domicile point of residence where we can be geotagged, who is benefiting on these events? So that's point number 3. The great game has shown its face, and most smart people will start to ask questions. 4. Okay, let's talk number 4. Point number 4 in benefits and potential opportunities in this great lockdown section of a larger reset season. So you are in lockdown mode, and some of these points are specific to what you should do during the lockdown period. And some are the opportunities you should be preparing for in the reset season post-Lehman moment. Okay, 462 of you online at the moment and 83 likes. That's awesome. That means around 19% of you like the fact that someone is bringing real opportunities and real potential benefits of how you can use this dead time that you've been afforded, and all the benefits that can go for it. I do hope you share it with friends and family, particularly those loved ones, because you're going to need their support. Some of what I'm going to say is going to involve community and syndication. If you don't have the cash, be the organizer and bring people that do together. You need to share this video. You need to sow the seed in their minds that there are opportunities and benefits right now, and you should be planning. You should be planning, talking, syndicating, and cooperating. You should be getting your firepower together, because it's far better to be in a partnership of many that have made some outstanding investments at the bottom of a huge deflationary sell-off that can provide income and give huge cap appreciation when they reflate, deflation first, reflate QE next, and the valuation goes back up and the income just continues to grow. This is really useful. You should be sharing it with your rich uncle, your brother with a successful business, your father, your mother, your auntie, and your uncle, and your best friends that you would be happy to do certain things together with. Okay, so let's go on to point number 4. So mental exercise. How does this serve me? How does what's actually happening serve me? Do you know that Newton, during the Black Death, bubonic plague, was locked up for 3 weeks, literally in his cavern hole of a home, and came out with his seminal works. The bulk of the genius of Newton was relieved after he was in lockdown for a pandemic for 3 weeks. Okay? Newton, the core of every great major thought, one of the most foundational elements was lockdown, and what he did during that period in lockdown. If you don't believe me, go study the Black Plague and its role in Newton's key works. So you've got to ask yourself, we don't know how long it's going to be. It might be as long as they say it's going to be. It may be longer. You have a period where you could capture your own genius. And believe you me, everyone has a little bit of genius in them. Yes, you're thinking of your dimwit brother and saying, no, it doesn't apply to him. In some way, it does. Maybe it's in playing games and finding the way to kill the boss. Maybe it's in very obscure ways, how he cooks pasta. But everybody has a little bit of genius. It's time now to find your genius and to recognize that there is a time for you to capture, an unfettered time. It's enforced unpaid leave in many instances for you. There's nothing you can do about it in many instances, but check your preparation. Check your preparation and ask, how does this serve me? So while I'm not into positivity and everything is awesome, Lego man running around when it isn't, I want to know the real truth and the real facts. How you respond to those real facts is in the quality of the questions you ask yourself. How could I make this serve me? How could I make this serve me? And there are many things that you could do to serve you. So think about your mental framing. You're getting bored. Paying for a Netflix premium and sitting and watching 9 hours a day of Netflix will not serve you. You will feel like a slouch. You will probably sit and eat chips and chocolate. You will be nauseous, sick, goggle-eyed, and you will have no new wisdom. Research, research, research. Plan. Get ready for the deflationary period. Think about who you hold influence with. Who are your key family members? What are you going to do at the next stage after lockdown when we go into the financial collapse portion of the reset season that is coming? So frame your mental exercise. The benefit is you have the time and you have the energy. If you have kids, sure, play with them, reforge your relationship, share with them, teach them art, teach them something, and then demand on some personal time where they are kept alone, even if it means letting them watch a bit of telly, which I'm no big fan of, so that you can have that free time. Take it and use it and decide. Talk to your partner if you have a wife, etc. 5, which builds on this, point number 4, write down your goals. Write down your goals during lockdown period. The new year rushed upon you. Normally you do it Christmas, New Year. Write down your goals and decide what are you planning to advance. Let me tell you that there will be opportunities on many levels to advance various things. And the people that are prepared will indeed have the script together of how they will move. Number 6, apart from writing down your goals, point number 6, expect technology to accelerate. We age because we fall behind. You start to be an old man when you fail to keep up with the technology and the ways of the world. That's when you fall off the bus and you watch it drive away without you, and you walk alone on a dusty road and everything is hard, you are tired, and you are mentally run down. The technology will accelerate. And what you've got to recognize is that this pivot point, that is the lockdown followed by the great reset, financial acceleration and deceleration, there will be an explosion of tech that's going to come out, particularly in the financial realm. This gives opportunities as well as threats. We'll talk more about the SWOT analysis in point number 7. But as an example, you might find banking systems are moving towards blockchain and the big ledger. You might find FedCoin has come out. Who knows? But isn't it interesting that you could, ahead of that, already be boning up on knowledge and skills? I suggest to you that biometrics, in terms of fingerprints, health, vaccinations, and eye and face geometry, are the way of the new world. They are going to bring it on you. Now, unless you have an island to escape to, which unfortunately I don't, and some of them are still controlled. The Marshall Islands is actually a US territory. Some of them you will find you will only escape for a little more time. It might be time to recognize what's coming and see what role and how you can learn to play it. The technology will accelerate. This pivot point will see an explosion of new tech that is waiting already in the wings that they intend to launch come out. Now, I'm not saying help them imprison us. You know whose side I'm on in all of this. But be smart to what it is and be understanding and aware of the repercussions so that you too can explain it to others. There's a business in that. Part of my 6.6 is a sort of 6B. Train and support others on crypto and blockchain if you already are wise. We're in a bell curve. And the pig in the python is the big average, the mean. And you, by being involved in crypto and understanding HEX and how to send a deposit and that, are relatively smart in the crypto world compared to your grandma, probably your father, probably a whole bunch of people that are in their 50s and beyond, and a lot of people who haven't cared that are even younger than 50. Maybe there's a business for you to teach people how to embrace blockchain once you see it playing a role, because I have built a business around the fact that there are 3 circles: reset sniper, crypto sniper, and the market sniper. Understanding and reading markets and the method. By the way, you can learn about that in the link below. There's free mini series material for you as well. That's the market sniper. Understanding the method for the direction and the moves that things will make before they make them. Hence the oil call. Hence calling PAA for an 82% plus market cap decimation. Hence calling Tullow for a huge market cap decimation that saw it go from £2 to 7 pence. All of these things, that is the market sniper and the method. That builds great wealth for trading, and it's something you can do from home, but not everybody is a trader. But it also gives good investment insight if you have no interest in being a trader. Then there is the reset sniper, recognizing over the last 13 years that there's no way in hell this moment wasn't going to come, and that we are actually only in the first innings of probably an 8 innings baseball game. And we've just sketched out the supposed trigger of the pandemic and the results, and all been about the pandemic. You're on lockdown, not because of a financial reset, but about the pandemic. Oh, it's pretty handy to stop people ordering gold and bullion and other reasons, etc., while you're in lockdown, and to say the mines are closed and no one can order, etc., and have a little thermostat circuit breaker. And there's lots of other peripheral reasons, like the geo-tracking and knowing where everybody lives and many other things I've insinuated. But actually, we are only in the beginning. Recognize that there is more to come, and there will be people who will get very afraid. Be brave when others are afraid. This is the key element. So there will be opportunities for you to train, bone up on knowledge, and be able to teach, because people don't go watch YouTube. They don't go research even on Google, even though all the information is probably there, including how to make a bomb. Not that I'm saying you should teach people to make bombs, but everything is on the internet. But someone who can teach personally in front of others could be very useful. You might have an opportunity for a business if you're a bit cash lean in all of that. Be prepared to bring technological skill sets to bear on those that do not have it. And you are at the forefront as an early adopter by being virtue of being subscribed to this channel. 542 on right now. I love that. Thank you. Share it to others. And 185 likes. That's going for 35%. Truly appreciate it. By being a follower of this channel, you are already, I can almost assure you, a good few percentage points ahead of the pig in the python bell curve, Mr. Normal Joe, and certainly well ahead the late adopters. Okay, so that's 6A and 6B. Number 7, a SWOT analysis. Now, if you've done an MBA or you've done any heavy study or you've ever created a business plan, you might have heard the term SWOT, S-W-O-T. It's not the team that kicks your door down and points armed weapons at you, your missus, and shoots your dog when they invade your personal privacy and do all the other things that martial law and other rights will protect them from. No, this is a technical term for when you create a business plan. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. A SWOT analysis is a quadrant, and you have to assess either yourself personally or your business. What is my strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? And doing a SWOT analysis during this dead time period, as both a person or a business. If you have a business, do it at both a personal level and at a business level. If you don't have a business, you can just do it at a personal level. Where are you strong? What do you know of better? What have other people commented on that you're good at? When they think of something that they would ask you for help, what topic matter is it? Ask them. Say, hey, mum, when you think I'm good at something, where do you assess it to be? When you think I'm weak at something, where do you assess it to be? Ask your best friends. Ask people who will give you an honest answer, personally and at a business level. Our business was counter-cyclical. We are having a boom. Thank you to all of you that have supported, shared your hard-earned money to come into a community of counter-cyclical, like-minded people that always assessed this was going to happen. My business was walk through a desert for 13 years, you know, and keep preaching, even though the message was a negative one, a doomsday prophet one. Not really doomsday. I wasn't like, oh, we're all going to die, but not an easy to consume one. It was there for the critical thinker only. And we got that only the best and the finest critical thinkers that were early. And now that we're seeing that we were onto something, and some of the trades, people can make money out of the trading. They can come on board because we foresaw the need for this cycle to occur and these things to happen. Actually, we're booming. We were lucky, but we positioned in a point of pain in the everything is awesome, we're back in a growth stage world where our message stood out alone and was an unpopular one. And we survived and we thrived during that period, and now we have a boom. And you can position too counter-cyclical potential. But now is the great change. And I would say, look at medical and health. They're going to need plenty. They're going to bone up. They're going to need plenty medical and health post this pandemic. There's a reason for it. So you can certainly find work or a small business opportunity in there. I've mentioned biometrics. Come out of the blocks like a sprinter. Decide where you're going to re-employ your skills. If you're badly positioned, if you're in property sales as a realtor potentially, and you're a realtor, real estate agent, you could have a tough time. You might have distressed people battling to sell and very little cash out there buying. And then when it booms, you could have very low volume, but it booms on small amounts when they reinflate, but you won't have high volume. Commissions will be squeezed. Everybody will be asking for a deal because no one has cash. Who knows? You'll have to decide this for yourself, whether you're weak. If you're in car sales with a Ford dealer or GM, which is currently badly positioned for the Tesla generation, or you're doing car financing or things like that, these industries, it might be worth a change. Or you've got to innovate. You've got to decide, how am I going to be different in this realm that I can actually do better? These are the kind of questions that you want to ask yourself. If you run a small business, point number 9. So that was point number 8. An explosion of tech, come out like a sprinter in the blocks. Learn something new. Now's the lockdown time where you can learn something new that you were always interested, and you can become, with actually a matter of 10 Google searches, a number of articles read, a number of key YouTubes watched, you can become a virtuoso near expert note on a topic that with a bit of practical implementation and running into some practical hard truths, you can actually become a full-fledged, useful technical consultant in a particular area. Number 9, think about your business and think about receiving crypto as payments. Be early. Why do I say this? If we have banking collapses, being able to receive crypto, and even if you keep it in Tether, you're not sure about how Bitcoin's going to do, you keep it in an alternative to Tether if you're unsure about Tether, like True USD, one of the others, that's fine. It just means if, and I've warned about what could come in, Tobin taxes, bail-ins where they take 50% of your money, or wealth taxes. I mentioned these in the previous live stream as the great threats that could come out of the banking economic assessment. Distribute your funds across multiple banks and contemplate crypto, Tether, or stable coin options that you can hold without having to take risk in the crypto market. Hey, if Bitcoin's going up, I'll buy Bitcoin. But sometimes I'm busy trading this market. I can't focus on too many things. I just want to know my money isn't losing anything and that it's holding and that I'm not sitting big cash in one bank. Geographically, arbitrage multiple geographic reasons. We took people to Georgia. We went to Georgia and opened bank accounts. You needed to be physically present. You can do it. You got to go to Central America, potentially, and you can have dollar-based, euro-based, and pound-based bank accounts. You can go to areas outside the common reporting standards. We will not have travel blocks forever, although I think it will be a lot tougher to travel in the future. And I mentioned some of the threats that will go with that in a previous live stream as well. But I want to talk positively now about opportunities. Get your financial planning in order, including last will and testament, how you're spreading your money across which banks and what geographies you're incorporating, and new ones you should be thinking of. You rarely have too many bank accounts, even if you don't have a lot of cash. You rarely have too many bank accounts across geographies. Not all nation states will fail identically. Yes, there is certainly a cartel of people that are doing a lot of the same things. Ah, got him. Always kill mosquitoes. You know, they told me that a butterfly flapping its wings on the other side of the planet can change the world and all of that. I always said, I think that's nonsense. It's not significant enough. They said, you know, just killing one animal could kill a lineage of a whole bunch. I've killed tons of mosquitoes, absolutely tons of mosquitoes. If I see a mosquito, I see it as my moral duty to kill them. They're absolute little blood vampires. And you know, I don't like parasitic entities. But I've failed to make a dent on any significant level on the mosquito population. So maybe things are not as significant. Some things are and some things aren't. Anyway, that was an entertaining little sidebar of why you should always kill a mosquito. We could do with less of them. After all, aren't they behind the Zika? The Zika virus. What a name. What a bunch of monkeys. Okay, so crypto in your business, your banking, how is it arranged? It's still not too late. It's quite possible when travel is allowed, you could still open a bank account in a different domain prior to the Lehman's moment and the great failure. Believe you me, it's only over when it's over. There's always the fat lady still to sing, kind people. And she hasn't sung yet on the financial side of this. Yes, lots of GDP dips across the globe, lots of debt spikes, lots of missed payments to come, but you have time. You always have more time than you think. People always think, I've missed the bus, and they're too quick to call time. It ain't missed the bus. This is like the movie with the Rolodex door rolling down, and the guy escapes by diving, rolling, and gets under the door when there was no chance he could. You have more time than you think. You could nip the bud. You could make the first and smartest financial decision of your life and get through it just in the minute of time. You could. You could. You could. In fact, I've done a few this travel season while I was away. I did a number of things that I concluded. in February in time for March 2020. Isn't it funny that 2020, which is used as the word for vision, March, my birthday month, the birthday month and the phrase for vision is the month where it all goes down. Isn't it ironic? And if it wasn't that I was speaking in a far off land in February, certain things may not have been concluded in February month, just in time. And you will have just in time opportunities. Get on with them. Think, wouldn't it be great if I could just only get this done? Oh, we've missed the bus. There's somebody somewhere that will help you get that done in time. Yes, that's right. People will be open for business. Hear me now. Big point that goes in conjunction with step point number 9. When lockdown finally ends, trust me, the people will be open for business like never before. They will have lost revenue. They will want to take your money. They will want to open bank accounts. They will want to sell you gear. They will want to do everything. You're likely to get great service because people will come out tenuously and slowly at first. There'll probably still be some form of a restriction. They won't ever roll it 100% back, in my opinion. There will be some new stuff coming out from this. This clamping down on our freedoms is such a powerful thing, and they ain't going to give it back that easy. Okay, so when the doors open, people will be open for business and prepared to do things quickly. Get in and make sure you are the one soaking up that available resource to get what you need done in time for the economic part of reset that is coming. And no, the stock market falling and having a little echo bounce is not the whole economic thing at all. This is the foreplay to a main event. This is a harem-based orgy fest. That is so much just the smallest, tiniest, itsy-weeniest little piece of foreplay for what is going to turn into an absolute smorgasbord of economic events and outcomes. Okay, so that's 9. I said 11, and I'm giving you 2 more. And then I will recap them very quickly, and then I will check the questions and the comments that you've made, and then I'm going to leave you to go forth and make use of your lockdown period and time. Smart. And make sure that you are one of the guys making out like a bandit. How many people did you learn or bump into? The odd smart one that made out like a bandit buying stocks at 2009 low. I'm not a fan of buying stocks, by the way, but bought properties at the 2009 low and rode the reflation up, who got investment portfolio of the rental properties, etc. So one of the benefits that may come out of this pandemic theme, and this is like a sugar-coated pill, but it is the sugar coating I'm going to talk about here. Health and sickness issues may start to be picked up sooner. There's clearly going to be some advances and some real freedom curtailments that come out. The fact that we mingle amongst each other, and the fact that we're all getting these little viral WhatsApp-y, Facebook-supported, generated things that shows how far, when you sneeze, various germs might fly at your friend. And now we've suddenly become so germ conscious that we're spitting on each other and spreading viruses, supposedly. There's going to be a mask season. I don't think this mask period is gone forever. I think we'll learn to wear masks. Maybe you can have a cranky, different mask. Maybe I'm going to get a black Darth Vader one which says reset season on it and has my logo on it. And I'm going to put Darth Vader had that, you know, the original Darth Vader had those 4 spikes that came out around his mouth that made him a bit of a monster. I'm going to screw with that facial recognition thing here. I'm going to have a custom mask, a sniper one in black with red writing. Reset is here. Are you prepared? And I'm going to have these spikes. And I'm going to have one of those breathing things that makes it sound like I'm going, look, come to the dark side. I'm going to screw with their voice recognition. I'm going to screw with their facial recognition. But something is coming. Something is coming. And you might find that there will be scanners that will pick up lung infections sooner. If you have something wrong with some part of your anatomy, it will be picked up sooner. We'll be scanners where we travel. Maybe potential disease that is within you or problems will start to be picked up sooner as part and as a side effect of your loss of freedoms and personal secrecy about your physical biometrical self. One of the positive side effects may be health related and scanning of nature that could see cancers, various other things intercepted earlier and maybe even extend your life. I continue to assert, I suspect they're going to come for vaccinations of all, and I suggest in my mindset it is not a welcome intrusion on my anatomy. But how your life may be curtailed if you fail to play. The great law of it's for the common good. We do it not only to protect you, but to protect others from you. To refuse it is to put yourself forward as a source of infection to all your others. No, I want everyone to have their personal freedom to infect anyone they like. That's what I want. But they will say, for the common good, you must submit. This is the communism, the great leveler. And they're going to win legal cases when challenged. That will then allow them to come and enforce it on you, or you will have to stay sewn up in a box in penitentiary. And I fear that for you. But one of the side effects may be the health scanning benefit. So let's do number 11, the final one. Fear and panic, the Lehman moment. Securing a property, a personal property for yourself. Maybe you put buying on property on hold. You've had a bit of a nomadic existence. You've been waiting for the big killing fields. I think that moment comes. So whether as securing a personal property for yourself, buying at the absolute highest point of fear, you will know it. It will be Dow has greatest loss in 100 years of existence. It will be panic in the streets as everyone dashes for cash. People selling their cars for 1/10 of what they paid for them barely 18 months ago. Properties for sale, people can no longer afford their payments, foreclosures, and there will be limited support from government on this. There will be moments where they'll say you can have a period of non-payment, and then they're going to leave you to dry because they truly don't want to save you. They want to own your home through the banks, but they'll have to follow legal process. And if there is a cash buyer that shows up, that it can be repossession purchased, and you're going to have to buy hard and be mean and offer as low as you can, because this is about those that prepared and saved themselves. You've got to save yourself to save others, which also means you've got to serve your family. So you must buy low, mean, and hard for those that borrowed in fantasy world, because you showed the critical thinking. So buy hard and well in the deflation period. Secure the home of your needs for the next 10, maybe 20, maybe for the rest of your life world. Also contemplate investment property that will generate income yield. Good quality property in middle of the road, middle class, middle income type areas where the rentals, if you're in America, are around $1,000. Those will let all day long. Those will let all day long. Take out your Robert Kiyosaki books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and brush up on purchasing a block of units. And some of you might be saying, I don't barely pay attention. How the hell am I buying a block of flats with 20 units or 10 units or 5 units, etc., if I can't? Bring the people that have cash together. Become the investment syndicate. Bring the people that can do it together. So in London right now, the mortgage products that still exist and are available are 40% deposit mortgage properties. So yes, you can still get financing, but don't expect a 95% loan to value. Don't expect a 90% loan to value. Bring your share at the tough times when credit is hard to find, and you will get financing, because the banks must still lend. They need to create money. All this deflation is killing money. Loans that get settled or properties that get written down in value is money being destroyed. Digits in the banking accounts being destroyed. They will be happy to create a few for someone or a group of people that have put together an LLP, a partnership, have written their partnership agreement, have got all their money, their beans together, emptied out their coin jars, looked behind the couch and found they have 40% of even one unit with 6 family members. Make a start. Do these preparations now. Talk to your family members and friends now. You will have the buying opportunity that could see the property value double and triple in a matter of 5-6 years and pay you income that you will be able to share in a time of need. Now is the time to prepare to be aggressive. How organized and set up are you to syndicate and make investments at the bottom of the curve? Invest in either rental property or your idyllic home that you will never have to pay a mortgage or a very small mortgage on. It doesn't have to be a villa, but it can be 100% yours. That is your 11 points. The great opportunities and benefits of both the lockdown period, which is your planning, and the execution period, which will occur in the reset season. I will do a super quick run through them all to remind you again. You can watch this video again. Number one, broken system and fantasy is now falling away. That means the truth is being revealed. The real new system will be coming soon. The long walk in this bus system is over. It's a positive thing. Pain equals opportunity. Take risks, don't hunker down. Hunker down and you will whittle away your cash. Now's the time for boldness. Even if you have small capital, build cooperatives. That's number two. Number three, the actors have shown themselves. Pay attention to who is part of your control structure. Remember, truth is always revealed. They've made a big move, and now you can see who they are. 4, mental exercise. Get your mindset right. How do the current events serve me? The quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you ask. It's either terrible and bad and all awful, and I want to put myself in a depression, woe is me, I feel so sorry for myself, or how could this serve me? What good comes out of this? That's right. DeMartini does this question. He said he takes a woman who was gang raped in Ireland and does it, and he proved to her that it has served her. If she can conclude that being gang raped in Ireland by a group of people has actually served her, it gave meaning to her life. She became a spokesperson for women in abuse around the world. She got a stage. She got huge amounts of empathy. She was invited to speak. She ended up getting a meaning to her life that at the time had little meaning. It's amazing how the most bizarre things can actually serve you. What hurt does not break you, makes you stronger. Learn how this serves you. There is real service being offered to you. So that was number 4. Newton did his seminal work whilst in lockdown during the bubonic Black Death plague, which I would put to you is far worse than this flu. Okay, number 5, use lockdown period to write your goals. Forget the Netflix. Don't support the control structure. Support yourself. Write your own goals. It's written down. It's far more powerful. Don't say, I'll just think them through. No, write them down, because in the process of writing, you refine them. Okay, number 6, technology is going to accelerate. Get tech savvy. We are in the age where if you fall behind, you drop behind. I had a friend, as I said, he did aerial photography. He now does motorcycle tours, adventure motorcycle tours. I went with him. He used to be price competitor leader in aerial photography. He had a very small imported plane that he could fly by himself, and he did aerial photography for maps. And he could operate the camera by himself. He had a perfect system. All the other people had bigger planes. They had a photographer they had to pay, a pilot they had to pay, they had to hire and rent. He always could undercut them and still make huge profits. And then drones came in, and he recognized it, and he exited the business. His entire raison d'etre, the reason he was still high quality, yet a price leader, was taken away from him in one foul swoop. Now he leads adventure rides on adventure bikes. He does something he loves, and he earns in a new way. Either master the new tech or exit quickly before it kills your business and takes your cash from you. That is a sample. So technology will accelerate. This pivot point is going to see a swathe of things. I've highlighted biometrics, health, financial, that you will see huge technical, logical advancements. Decide if you want to play in those spaces and make sure you're smart. Use this time to get up to near expert level with reading a few key papers and watching a few key YouTubes. Number 7, taking action. Taking action makes you substantially more positive and will fix any morbidity, any self-sympathy, any victimhood you might currently be feeling. Take action, do something positive, no matter how small. Going and cleaning out your closet and taking out clothes that you never wear and trimming down and getting a bit of spare cash for them, or just giving them away as gifts, is taking action, is decluttering your life. Even that is more worthwhile than lying on the couch with a remote control and supporting the control structures, Netflix and Amazon offerings. Okay, so train and support others as a possible business. The SWOT analysis. What are your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in both your business and personally? That's point number 7. Number 8, an explosion of tech. Get into one of the areas of that. Number 9, start receiving crypto for payments if you have a business, and even personally, if anyone pays you for doing small part-time work, take it offline so that you no longer just have bank accounts. Have money in different forms. Have precious metals, have coins, have crypto, and have minimal amounts in multiple bank accounts. Yeah, health and sickness might be picked up. So we might all be picked up earlier for health issues. It is a positive outcome, even though it will probably invade our privacy immensely. Number 11, the final and the last. Whoops, that was number 9 and 10. Yeah. So number 11, fear and panic. The Lehman moment is yet to come. Are you ready to pick up bargains? Even if you don't have a dime to your name, you could be part of a syndicate picking up bargains that could reestablish your balance sheet in a very short time by buying at the highest moment of fear. That highest moment of fear is coming. You have the opportunity. There's 607 of you. I appreciate you all for listening to me. I'm going to spend 3 minutes looking through the questions and pick out a couple of questions. And I appreciate that 278 of you have given this a like, and that many of you have been prepared to share this. There is real opportunities and benefits to both this lockdown period and the reset stages that are coming. You can exploit them all. You could buy a business for pennies in the pounds. You could even buy a business with no cash out of potential future profits just by structuring clever agreements. Have the courage to make the effort to think about it. You have your brain, you have your critical thinking, you have time. With that, you can create anything. Newton redefined many things in his time. Good morning. What are the good news? Says Nuno. Phil, card. Good analogy. Water with gas and lemon is so good. Yes, we do the sparkling water as well with it. Thanks for the following on Twitter, Amiga Man. I'm working, so can't watch the vid, but will share and give a like. That's very kind. Joseph Dredd, shout out to you. Ruben D. Ruben, morning. Good morning from the United States, living in Colorado. Yes, indeed. Good morning to the beautiful Colorado countryside and to you in the United States. Planting my coffee plants, might need them. Yes, sufficiency, crops are all useful things. Stiffen up the upper lip, forget the hope. That's right. Do not be hopeful, take action. Be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. Hungary declared a dictatorship today, says Barper Papa. Prince Andrew doesn't sweat, says, yes, I like that. That's Cameron. He's sharing a joke with us. We've all seen the pictures. Love this topic, says Nick. Be greedy when others are fearful. We've seen that. It's been said a few times. Hi, man. Thanks for your time again. Hope you're doing well. I am doing just fine. Thank you. Yeah, you did videos with John DeMartini. Go Google them. Says someone didn't know we've done a whole swathe of John DeMartini videos about banning the fantasy from your mind, and then how the quality of your life being dictated by the quality of the questions you ask yourself. Thanks, Francis. Any thoughts on Australian dollar at 61 after China PM today? Should give Aussie a boost. I'll look at charts later. I'm not going to answer chart-related questions today. This is specific to this topic. SP 500 macro. Generally, again, I'm not going to get over market specific, but there will be rallies and then there will be further smackdowns in my view. Yes, the dollar vigilante, they're not the dollar vigilante, the dollar milkshake guys think this is a low and that they just reinflate and all the hyperinflation. I do not assess the proper fear has happened yet for the financial reset. And the fear will bring further deflation. And deflation means stock market down, things down. Hi, Francis, I'm talking to you the 4th and the sniper team. You will be talking to team members of our lovely people. And thank you for the many supports and all the lovely new people that have joined our community. We've got a great set of talented people that are making investments in tough times to make sure they come out of these reset periods better. And I think that's smart. I think it's part of taking a risk, but I'm not going to sell here. You know if it feels right, you know if it don't, and it doesn't feel right. It's all down to you. Thanks, Francis. Do you think they'll monkey hammer PMs to frighten people? With the deflation next leg down, I think precious metals could still have another sell-off, but I think that won't go as far down as it did the previous time, because the problem they had is too much physical buying took place when they took it down. So it may have another stab down, but I don't assess it will be as successful as the previous one, on account of everyone is now physical buyers par extraordinary. And if it stabs down, there will be no availability at that price and premiums will just stretch. So the true pricing mechanism between paper PMs and physical will start to become unhooked. And then I would love to be the first to set a price chart for what you actually buy physical metals for each day, and to buy a silver coin and a gold coin every day and tell you, I looked for the best place and this is how much I paid. And then we can have a real physical metals price chart. Who wouldn't want that? Any good brokers to buy South African shares, says Shile Gumede. I don't use an SA broker at the moment, Mr. Gumede. So I'm not in a position to confirm, but I have traded one or two South African things like the Rand. I'm going to ask if Devolt is on, maybe he can answer that. But I mean, there used to be Barnard, Jacob Millet. They're quite a local crowd. I think HSBC and Merrill Lynch type options are in existence here. Some of them that are a bit more premium might require minimum deposits. Make money in stocks, invest in real estate. Yeah, page will drop. Paper will drop, physical will skyrocket. Appreciate your content, says Mental Garden. Live trading day. Yes, we are having a live trading day where we will have both the crypto in the afternoon session for an hour and a half. We will have 30 minutes break, and we will do a traditional markets that will be equities, FX emergings, and assess all of those opportunities this Friday. And it will be a non-farm Friday, where a number will come out and we may see some movement around it, we may not. Other things may be dictating. But you can have time with me for very cheap. Many of you that say, we can't afford, we can't afford, we can't afford. Come and have a taste on non-farm payrolls. One of my people will post a link actually for that, and you will see it in the chats. It's also on our website, themarketsniper.com. Just go look, non-farm payroll, $195, and you will get 3 hours of Francis plus a half-hour break, comfort break for you. And we will cover crypto, traditional, every key market that we watch and observe. I think that's it. Let's go right to the bottom. Kruger, Maple Leaf, Eagles, says Sant Gaulis. Yes, those are all good big names. How does the Fed being absorbed by the Treasury affect your predictions? It doesn't change much. It's a reorganization between government and the Fed. There's a big end the Fed people, and now it's kind of throws them off the scent because now the Fed becomes part of the government. It's bizarre. It's clearly the fact that they're showing stress. They wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't. It now makes government in line of fire, and the communists are now fully in charge because it's now government that will spend money directly. And they've taken away this private banking elite and just assumed it into government. That shows you that your private banking elite is your government. Where was the payment? How could you just buy this huge Ponzi scheme and absorb it? Where was the transaction? How is this even legal? Can you give an expected time frame for the highest point of fear? Well, first, you get lulled into a false sense of security. It will be post-lockdown. Lockdown will end. A couple of restrictions may still apply. You might have to wear a face mask more often. Everything will stabilize a little bit, go a little bit lower. Volatility, you'll think we could be through the water. Maybe we should have bought stocks at the low. Just when everybody is bottom calling, then you will start to have the knockdowns. Yes. During the 3 hour non-farm, do you answer questions? Do you go back to previous predictions? Jeza is asking. We look, you can post chats in the go-to meeting, which can include questions about what we see coming in the markets, other things we've said. We revisit things only if there's potential for them to happen again. We don't sit there and blow our trumpets about previous trade calls that worked and didn't work. Only if they're relevant in terms of setting up new trades. The idea is to find key trading opportunities and have a better grasp and handle on where the key positioning in the market should be for leverage trading and investment. That is the idea behind non-farm payrolls. And we look at all markets to do that, but it's only an hour and a half, remember. and we can only go through a certain number of things, and we always do it thoroughly. Will junior gold miners run? Someone was asking. I suspect they will in time. Coinbear says, I'm lying. No crash is coming. There you go. So there you have an alternative opinion. I know there's no crash, and I am intentionally misleading you. There you go. So in that case, you should be buying equities if you are sympathetic. Hey, Sniper, any good brokers to buy? Yep, saw that one, South Africa. I think that's all the comments. Gold miners will hold their gold till higher prices. Maybe. Unfortunately, I suspect some of these gold miners also have some of the key players in the control structure as big shareholders, which will tell them to keep forging bars and accepting whatever the paper price is. They should never have been selling their gold through the $250 period and during recent lows as well. What about green energy, sir? Green energy is a good place to position, KK. Microsoft crypto, have you seen it? Microsoft will be at the forefront of many things. They are re-emerged. In fact, they're the sole trillion market cap company right now, unless the market moved immensely yesterday. Okay, that's it. Okay, guys, thank you for watching. 609 of you. Appreciated that you all came by. We've been up for over an hour. 335 likes, which is through the 50%. I appreciate that. Share this with others. There are opportunities. You might need them to start thinking in the same ways as you are thinking, and you might want to give them something to think about that will get them ready. Share the video, and it will work. See you on Non-Farm, where we will discuss specific trade events and check the charts as this week unfolds. Until then, I want to salute you and thank you for coming on board. This is not a financial advice. This is me thinking about what may happen in a probability-based scenario. I am not a clairvoyant. I can only have ideas, but I do see opportunities and I do see benefits. And you have to exploit those because you have to deal with what you're given. If given lemons, make lemonade. That's it. All right, guys. Have a great day, and I'll catch you later. Bye for now.